Hello, I'm Kat Holden, and I'm thrilled to be here with you today to talk about thriving after cancer. Now, I don't know about you, but my greatest struggle during my battle with cancer came after my medical team stepped away. You know what it's like at diagnosis. You get put onto a treadmill of chemotherapy and radiation and surgeries and checkups and blood tests and PICC lines. You're surrounded by people practically every single day. And then you make it to the end of your treatment, thank God, and suddenly it's just you. And I really did struggle with this as I desperately tried to make sense of what had just happened to me. And I spent time searching, looking around for some kind of meaning to it all, or a community of people that had experienced the same as I had and understood how confusing and lonely and empty it felt. Only all I found were support groups that were filled with fear and anger. There was nothing I could find that was going to show me the way through this phase of recovery. The other thing I found were the many, many people who had never battled cancer in their lives or had any life threatening disease, but they were very keen to tell me how I was supposed to feel. And yes, I have had someone say to me, "Oh, I bet the sun is warmer and the rain's softer now for you." No, right now, no, right now, I don't even know which way is up. Right now, I'm just standing here thinking, what the hell just happened to me? So, today, I'm going to share with you 5 of the most powerful steps you need to know so you can move through that phase of recovery and start to truly heal again, emotionally heal, and start to come back to life. And of course, a big part of that journey is to discover who you are today, as you're not the same person you were before your diagnosis. These are the first baby steps I took that really worked for me. And I then started my own action focused support group because you know what it is, if you can't find it, create it. I knew I couldn't be the only person who didn't want to get stuck here in this space of overwhelm and fear and nothingness. I was prepared to do anything to help myself come back to life. And creating that support group became my purpose. It became my way to do that. And it also became a joy for a long time. And everyone in that group says the same thing. These 5 steps will help to turn your life around so you can rediscover, rebuild, reconnect, and come back to life and thrive. Because I do know how desperately lonely and overwhelming it can be when your medical team step away. Suddenly, it's just you. And you'll also have loved ones and very well meaning people around you telling you to live every day as it's your last. Because everyone assumes you will walk out of that long, dark tunnel of chemo, radiation, and surgeries with all the wisdom and joy and energy to live out loud every day. And that, my friends, is a myth. What I discovered through my own experience and from the members in my support group and my private clients, there are 4 phases of recovery from when our medical teams step away. And I'm going to quickly share those with you as well. I know we're stepping away from the 5 steps, but I think it's important to share this with you too. Because when I recognized these 4 phases as a natural path back to life, it was a game changer. So phase one is just what I've been talking about. You've just stepped out of that long, dark tunnel into the sunshine, and you're standing there blinking and trying to adjust your eyes to the bright new day. In phase one, I would urge you to find a therapist or a counselor or someone you can talk to, maybe someone in your church, someone who will help you to find acceptance in all that's happened. Remembering, and this is a big remember, accepting something doesn't mean you have to like it, right? There'll be lots of tears in phase one. Embrace them, find a therapist, be really kind and gentle with yourself. Phase two is when you've found some semblance of acceptance and you can acknowledge you've just been through hell. Only, no, you still have those big emotions, right? You still have the big emotions, but you're facing up to the fact you don't recognize yourself any longer. You're at that phase where you're trying to fit yourself back into your old life. You're desperately, that may not be the right word, but you're trying to find something solid to hang on to. And you wrongly believe the answer is to squeeze yourself back into your old life. Phase two is really all about getting to that place of being okay that things are different. And the 5 steps I'm going to share with you very shortly, they are very much suited to phase one and two. Because once you get to phase three, you're truly ready to start building the life you survived for. In phase three, you still have the big emotions, they're still rolling around, but you've made sense of them. They no longer frighten you nor define you. This is where a guide or mentor or coach will be a godsend to help you create the life and the career of your dreams. And then finally, phase four. You're confident, you know who you are, there is gratitude for the whole journey, and now you're looking to build a legacy. If anyone here knows the hero's journey, this is the phase where you return home with the gifts and the learnings to share. So today, we're going to focus on those 5 steps that are going to support you, whichever phase of recovery you find yourself in right now. Because you have been through hell. And now I want you to truly live with all your heart, to come back to life with gusto and guts and live the life you survived for. And these 5 steps that I'm going to share with you will be crucial for you to come back to life quickly and compassionately. There's no drastic pushing here. And then at the end, I'm also going to share with you how I can help you a little bit more as well. So let's get started. Before we do, let me just backtrack a little. Who am I? Why are you listening to me? Like, where did this all begin for me? So for those of you that don't know me, I'm an English-Irish woman, and I live on the Sunshine Coast in the UK with my partner and my gorgeous Staffy dog that I rescued a few years ago. And we spend a lot of time trekking on the South Downs or at the local pub. It's a very British thing to do, with our friends, or paddleboarding along the Cuckmere River here in East Sussex. I have a coaching and development company that supports women in the workplace who have a very successful career, only they don't know who they are, really. They have little confidence in the value they bring, and they struggle with imposter syndrome. They're unable to own their accomplishments and their achievements. And we work together so they're able to find their voice and own who they are, build unshakable confidence, and create the success they deserve and dream of, quite frankly, without burning out. Before that, though, my life before cancer was very different. I was always that woman who would be happy when I got the promotion, when I'd climbed the mountain, when I'd got the right hairstyle, when I got married, when I lost weight, when I gained weight, when I bought a different house, right? I was constantly searching for that thing that would fill me up. Only I had no idea what that thing was. I just knew once I'd found it, then I'd be happy. And this not knowing fueled me. It drove me with a passion, only it did also nearly kill me. I spent over 20 years in corporate life, not knowing who I was, nor understanding my own strengths, nor valuing my contributions. I was stuck in a cycle of people pleasing with a crippling imposter syndrome and a deafening banshee of an inner critic. Not that you would have known it back then. I kept it all hidden, along with the anxiety and the fear of people finding out. Kept it all pushed down. Eventually, I burned out. There's no surprise there. And I did it spectacularly well because what followed was 7 years of serious ill health that began with grave disease, then escalated into vasculitis, and finally cancer. But it was during those 7 years that I started working with a coach and I began to discover what made me happy and what I wanted from life. I began to understand the real, authentic me. And it was liberating and exciting and terrifying. But of course, while all this discovery was taking place, my health was also getting worse. So 3 years into the Graves' disease, I was diagnosed with vasculitis, which is a dreadful disease that left me in pain and exhausted. And then 2 years dealing with that crippling autoimmune disease and mountains of drugs, I was then diagnosed with cancer. And as you know, when that Mack truck hits you, it hurts. And I am one of the lucky ones, not just because I made it through to the other side, but because of the incredible people I met along the way who supported me, guided me, and became my biggest cheerleaders. At my lowest point, I discovered a wellness center specifically for cancer patients and their families. And it was there that I started to come back to life. The chemo, the radiation, and the surgeries killed the cancer. But the reason I'm here today is because of those wonderful people and resources at that center. And it's since then, since I've gotten back on my feet, I've been determined to create my own sanctuary. For over a decade now, I have been studying neuroscience, art therapy, coaching, positive psychology, neurolinguistics. And I've done it all so I can support, guide, mentor, coach, and be the cheerleader for those men and women behind me who have made it to the other side of cancer. It's everything I have learned in that period of time, everything I lived and experienced, the hope, the compassion, the strength. That is what my business is built upon today. And these are the foundations of my company. And to be honest, everything I do. because it is the emotional support and knowing the steps to take that changed my life and the hundreds of men and women I've worked with since. When I first started along the road back to life, I started by losing myself in all the shoulds. I should be joyful. I should feel excited about my future. I should know what I want from this second chance of life. I should be able to run 10 miles by now. I should have moved on from the fear and overwhelm. I should be back at full-time work. We all know getting lost in the shoulds is a disempowering place to be. And I spent way too long trying to fit myself back into my old life. And I couldn't work out why I felt so discombobulated. Surely I'm supposed to feel positively joyful. I'm alive, aren't I? What's wrong with me? You can decide you're going to make a change, to let go of the past and create a brilliant new chapter of your one wild and precious life. Thank you, Mary Oliver, for your poem, A Summer's Day. Fabulous poem. Go check it out. The reason why I share all of this with you is because I remember thinking, I'll never feel happy, strong, focused, energized, connected, ambitious, or engaged in life again. But once I pieced together those 4 phases of recovery, and I then understood what those first few steps looked like, everything changed. And if I can do it, you certainly can. I know I'm one of the lucky ones. I'm here, I survived, and I'm sharing my story. My mission in life is to inspire and bring hope and shine a light for those who come behind me. I've been able to turn my serious illnesses into a passionate vision and business. And today I have a great life surrounded by people I cherish and adore and love, doing things that bring me joy. I found a purpose in my story, and I believe it's a powerful one that can prevent others from losing years of their life due to a lack of self-belief and burnout and ultimately illness. But in the beginning, I was so desperate to not feel lost, not feel overwhelmed, alone, afraid, physically weak. I made a big mistake by trying to outrun those emotions and fears. I set myself unrealistic goals to distract myself from the reality of my life. I wanted to get back on my feet quickly, so I pushed myself hard, and I had to be constantly reminded to slow down and breathe, that all will be well, and that it's the baby steps that are the answer. Life for me today, knowing this, is not where I started. Because if you try and emulate where I am now, you're going to hurt yourself physically and emotionally. Today, I know who I am and I know what's important to me. I make great decisions based on those 2 things. That means I'm always facing towards my North Star. It doesn't mean my life is perfect. It doesn't mean I get it wrong sometimes, but I'm truly happy and I'm healthy and I feel connected to my loved ones, my friends, my community. I'm useful. I'm engaged in life. I'm forgiving of myself and others. I feel joyful and on purpose and in love. So here are those first 5 baby steps that are going to support you, keep you grounded, and bring hope as you come back to life. Step 1 is to find a safe space to express yourself, to vent, to explore, to empty the noise from your overthinking brain. You can do this in many ways, but my favorite is morning pages. which is a way to journal. 3 pages as close to waking as possible. This is Julia Cameron's work. You can do towel screaming also, or pillow screaming, where you fold up your towel and you put one hand over your mouth and one hand over your neck to support your vocal cords and let it out. A gentler way is to be out in nature, walking barefoot maybe through the grass or along the beach, or out trekking across the downs in my place, with shoes on, by the way. Allow yourself to cry. Find time to meditate or reflect or pray. These things will give you the mental space to clear the noise and help you to release those overpowering emotions, and you'll find a way back to you. I still do these things today, 11 years later. When life throws a curveball, these are my go-to strategies to keep me out of overwhelm. Step 2 is creating daily rituals. You've gone from a very busy schedule of chemo, radiation, checkups, been an onslaught that took up your day and kept you exhausted. Only now there's nothing. So it's time to put in place small daily rituals that will energize you physically and emotionally. Here's a few ideas. You could start your day with a glass of warm water and a squeeze of lemon juice. You write in your journal, make your bed, get outside in nature, in the natural light. Create a space to sit quietly and meditate. Anything that connects you directly to your God. And as you fall into bed at the end of the day, think of things you're grateful for. Find at least 3 things to be grateful for before you drift off to sleep. By creating a gentle and simple routine throughout your day, you are starting to bring that love and kindness back to yourself. This is going to pay dividends for your resilience, your vitality, and your mental health. Daily rituals. Step 3, rest and replenishment. It's critical to your emotional and physical recovery. So make sure you prioritize both because they are very different. Rest is inactive. We chill, we relax, we recline. That could look like a long soak in a bath, a nap, a good book, not a thriller, mind you. Make it something restful. Snuggling up under the duvet to watch a lovely film. And in my case, that's anything to do with Doris Day. Rest. Let others make the dinner. Let them do the hoovering, pump up the tires on the car. Allow others to look after you. And you, my friend, find ways to rest. And then replenish, which is very different to rest. Replenishment happens in activity, right? Now, it's going to be gentle activity for sure, but nonetheless, movement. We're back to having that gentle walk, some light gardening, maybe meeting friends at the coffee shop. Anything that makes you feel happy or content that you're moving. Take the time to think about lovely activities you've wanted to try. Gentle ones, then go do them. Step 4, connection and community. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was really poorly, I was surprised and hurt at the people who showed up for me and those that didn't. And I understand there are many reasons why people can't be there for us when we're sick. Some are too frightened. Some don't know how to be there. Some are too triggered back into their old memories of illness. There are many genuine reasons why people who love us cannot be there for us. And then, of course, you've got those that simply didn't prioritize you. Once you were unable to support them, do their bidding, prioritize their needs above your own, They just stepped away. Only now you get to reevaluate who you want in your world. Those friends who showed up for you, who drove you to the beach, who brought you cups of tea, who held your hand, made you laugh, brought the outside world to you when you were too weak to go out to it. These are the incredible human beings you want in your life today. Let the others go. Send them away with love and focus on those that truly care for you and showed up for you. Showed up for when you were at your most vulnerable. It's a hard lesson that we learn. It's painful. Don't get lost in anger nor resentment. Just let them go with love. Step 5. It's all about food. As we come back to life, the food we eat is crucial to our ability to get strong once again. And there is a myriad of nutritionists and advice out there. I am not a nutritionist. And so I devoured every book on nutrition and how to strengthen my immune system. And I worked very closely with a functional medicine doctor at one point, and that helped me to regain my vitality, my strength, and my energy, and my emotional health too. If you're seeking advice for this, and I highly recommend you do, Kris Carr is a brilliant woman who lives with stage 4 lung cancer. She's American, she's a marvel, an inspiration, and she has cookbooks and a website with lots of free and wholesome recipes that will support you nutritionally. And she understands how you feel. Another book that helped me with my food was The Metabolic Approach to Cancer by Dr. Nash Winters and Jess Higgins Kelly. It's detailed and, by my standards, far more academic, but a really important read. As is Radical Remission, actually, by Kelly Turner. Those 3 books were a pivotal part of my recovery. Now, I understand what I've shared seems obvious, but it's really important to focus on these 5 steps. Otherwise, you're going to either push yourself too hard and be cruel to yourself, or you'll get stuck in the fear and overwhelm, and it will take you longer to come back to life and thrive. It's all about baby steps and building strong foundations. Every single person that has ever come to me for help who are really lost and struggling are not prioritizing these first baby steps, and they get stuck in overwhelm and fear and exhaustion because they have no idea how to truly begin on that road back to life. Stay focused on the holistic approach to come back to life and prioritize the important first steps that will build your strong foundations. There's so much out there to take your attention, and there is great advice too, but it's knowing what to focus on first and how to make these changes stick. There's a lot of noise around how you're supposed to think and how you're supposed to feel that can make you believe you are going to skip out of your oncology department and inherently know what you want from this second chance, to feel joyous about it all. That is not the truth. You're grateful, yes. You're relieved, yes. Joyful and excited with a dream and a plan? No. Because you have no idea who you are this side of your cancer. You are not the same woman who went into this battle. You are at your lowest ebb, physically and emotionally. But with time, support, inspiration, community, and hope, you will come back to life and you will thrive. So at the beginning, I said I would spend 5 minutes telling you about how I can help you come back to life. Now, I'm not going to lie to you here. I'm not going to tell you that my program is going to help you get your physical and emotional health to where mine is today. I'm not going to help you get from phase 1 to phase 4. And focusing on your legacy in this chapter. Excuse me, my little doggy has just walked in. Hello, Joxa. I absolutely can do all of that for you, but they are very different programs. And the program I want to share with you today is when you're ready to start looking at who you are today and ready to take those steps to build strong foundations so you can discover the incredible woman you are today and understand what makes you feel alive and on purpose. In this program, we get to explore what you need today to feel happy and strong, connected and useful, and will get you to phase 3 of your recovery, which is all about building the life and career of your dreams. This program is called Back to Life. Of course it is. So what is it? Well, it's a 12-week program that covers the things that I believe you really need to be focusing on as you start to rebuild your physical and emotional health. And you start to see the beautiful person you are today. You've been in this long, dark tunnel for a long time, and you have just stepped out into the sunlight. And right now, you're standing there blinking, adjusting your eyes to this bright new day. And we are going to take those first steps together and build strong foundations so you can go on and create your most wild and wonderful life. As well as the 5 important steps that we've just talked about here, this program builds upon those and we do it step by step. So it's not, here's all the stuff you need, off you go, you're on your own again. No, this is 12 weeks of discovery, learning, connection, and belonging, where you'll be together in small groups so you get that tailored support and have that sacred space to be seen and heard and build your community with the other ladies in the program who know how you feel and understand what you've been through. We begin this program how all great programs need to begin, with a meet and greet where we all come together to say hi, to share our stories, and to check in with one another. We also make sure we have everything we need to get the most out of the 12 weeks because it will be online, right? It's an online program, so we need to know we've got the techie stuff in place too. And then we start each month where we come together and I lead you through a live training. I teach you the foundation stones, and you also get access to me during that time to ask me any questions and participate in the conversation as we go. These trainings, they're also recorded. So if you can't join 1 month, you're not going to miss out on any of the learnings. Then a fortnight after that, so 2 weeks after that, we come back together again for group coaching and connection and focusing on what you've learned over the fortnight and any challenges you'll come up against whilst implementing all that you learned, as well as being able to bring whatever else you need support with. Bring it all. So basically, twice a month, we come together in a safe environment to connect, to learn, to discover. These are the modules that we'll be focusing on. Module 1, is resetting your resilience. Because, did I say resilience? Resilience right now is at an all-time low. And you need to build more on those first 5 steps. It's important to make this one our first foundation stone because we already know firsthand without vitality, everything is so much harder. So we'll go into this in greater detail and around what that means for you, what you need for this to happen, and how to prioritize getting those needs met. The second foundation stone is your guiding principles. Right now, you're struggling to recognize who you are today. You don't recognize yourself. And you need to discover and align to who you are and what's important to you today. This is an incredibly powerful foundation that, once in place, all your decisions and the way you show up in the world will be authentically you, powerfully you. And then the third foundation are strong new boundaries. This is very important. In fact, I have a workshop for corporate women dedicated to this subject because knowing your boundaries is a strength many do not possess. Your boundaries are crucial for you to thrive. So in this module, I'll share with you how to set them, how to hold them, how to recognize them when they're being crossed, and I'll share with you how to start asking for what you need. Boundaries are how you teach others how to treat you. They're important. So who's this program for? I've worked with hundreds of men and women from just finishing their treatment to 20 years after their treatment ended. And they've all had amazing successes, including going from no hope that they'd ever feel anything other than fear to finding their joy. From feeling lost and alone to finding their happy and fulfillment. From feeling frightened of the future to creating a bright new vision and purpose. You and I know that disease does not discriminate. And I've worked with those who've retired, who were senior leaders, doctors, nurses, with stay-at-home mums, with psychologists, entrepreneurs, students, and so many others that have battled cancer. Like Lorna, who felt she'd lost her identity and couldn't share that with her family as she didn't want to let them down. Whilst working with me, completely transformed her outlook and ended the program with energy and clarity and incredible hope for her future. Fiona, who went from feeling alone and guilty about, excuse me, she felt guilty about not being on top of the world. And she went from that space to embracing a great sense of belonging. And by the time she finished her course, she'd found the courage and her voice. And she negotiated the right role and the hours she wanted and went back to work. And Jackie, who's now found her passion and is working towards a degree in counselling so she can go on support other cancer survivors. There are many, many more stories I would love to share with you, but you can go and take a look at them on my website and my social media pages. They're everywhere because I'm so proud of them and I'm so proud of these men and women. Now, the investment for this course is different to any of my other courses because, well, this work saved my life and I'm determined to pay that forward as soon as I was able. It's my purpose in life to share my story and to support those who come after me in their journey. It's important they know how to come back to life. It's important to know that my greatest struggle was when my medical team stepped away. And if it's yours, I see you, I hear you, I understand you. I was alone trying to make sense of it all and trying to pretend to my loved ones how amazing I felt, how excited I felt. And yet the truth was the complete opposite. What I discovered is there is no real support for us in these phases of our recovery. And because it's really, really important to me that everyone has access to this life changing work, I'm able to offer this essential program at a cost of whatever you can pay. It is important to pay something, mind you, as that act brings a sense of empowerment back to you. You are choosing to take back control of your well being. You are choosing to invest in yourself, in your health, in your life, in your happiness, right? It's not a medical thing that's telling you to do so. You are choosing to take those steps back to life. That in itself is the greatest first step you can take, but it's important to pay something to connect yourself to that power. Just to give you some context in my pricing, my 3-month group program for my vital leader is 1,250 quid, right? But because my life after cancer work is so important to me, I want to be able to support as many as I can without money becoming a barrier to coming back to life. I'm thrilled to be able to offer it as pay what you can. Here's where you sign up. So it's https semicolon catholden.com / life after cancer. I will put a link somewhere else so you can just click on it. And I really hope to see you there because this program is unique and will ensure you have strong foundations for your transformational journey and for life evermore. So you're able to move from lost, overwhelmed, angry, confused, and show you the way back to life as you discover the powerful woman you are today because of everything you've just gone through. These next 3 months will build your confidence and inspire you to go on and create the life and career that will light up your soul. I would love to support you further. And so please do reach out to me with any questions. You can drop me a line at my email address, which is katrina@catholden.com. I'll be very happy to help you. In the meantime, I hope that what you've gotten from today will allow you to be kinder and more compassionate to yourself as you realize you're not alone in this phase of recovery and you can start to make sense of what's just happened and start to take those first 5 baby steps to begin that journey back to life. Because you are the one who is going to be the inspiration and the guiding light for those who come after you. To do that, you need to trust in yourself, to be authentically you, because then you'll become that shining light that offers the hope to everyone going through cancer today. It has been an absolute pleasure spending this time with you, and I'll see you really soon.